What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We've got a really cool video here for you today. We're going to talk about how to get the golf club on plane for those of you that are struggling with over the top, too far under. We've got some really cool drills. We've got stations like this. Let's get into it. So first things first, when going into this, number one, what is a swing plane? Number two, what are the purposes of it? So for me, everybody has a swing plane, and everybody's swing plane can move different directions. So from in here, I think the first thing is understanding, why do we need the swing plane to be directed at our actual target? Well, for me, this is what allows us to align the direction of the swing and the club face at the target so that we have the ability to hit a golf shot that goes relatively straight. Now, a lot of us, I don't even know if we've ever heard of what the word swing plane is, nor do we understand what its actual purpose is. If there's one thing that I wish I would have been explained to at a very young age, it would have been this. So we have golf, we have a moving object like a golf club, striking a static object like a golf ball. So right in here, we have to align to get the maximum force or the maximum compression, to get the maximum distance out of this golf ball. It's really important, the direction that this aligns itself. Here's the way that I would explain this from a face-on video. So I was explained this a long time ago, and it really made a lot of sense to me, and I wish I would have understood this a lot earlier. So if we take something as simple as, I have one alignment stick here on the ground, and I have another alignment stick. I have to move this towards you on the camera, so the direction that this comes from, is very important. If I have this direction coming from here and I'm trying to move that, or I have the direction coming from here, that's not going to help me move that stick right there towards you. The same laws hold true in striking a golf ball. So first things first, golf is played on a tilted angle, which is our swing plane. So if we actually mapped out what a swing plane is, here's what it would look like. I would take my golf club. So I have two alignment sticks that are taped together that are about a club head's width outside the golf ball. So if I went right in here and I placed this club right there, you can see that would be roughly what my swing plane would be. And if I did that over here on the front side as well, and we put that right there, that would be what that would look like. So this is now starting to form, this would be our tilted angle that we're playing golf on. So from here, this also works on a circular motion. So what I think we see far too much out of the average golfer is we see the direction of this plane either going too far to the right or too far to the left, which is now what makes us start to change what we do with the club face to make the golf ball go towards the target. Because if I have my golf swing, the direction of my plane, if I have the direction of this swing going left, I don't want to have the face square because that golf ball is going to end up left, therefore I open it. And vice versa, if I have my swing and the direction of it going too far to the right, I don't want to keep the face square, otherwise it's going to go over into the trees onto that hole next to us. So the direction in which this plane is set and how we move this is really, really important. The hard thing is how do we build a station and how do we put ourselves in a position to where we can practice this and actually see what we're going to get as a result out of the ball flight. Here's one of my favorite stations that I would go into building right here. So you saw there in the beginning of the video, I had this crazy looking station that was set up. Here's how I would set this up, and I would use this as a tool to rehearse and make a lot of practice swings inside of. So here's how we would build it. So the first thing I would do is I would take this double alignment stick and I'm going to remove it right there. So I'm going to take these out And where I'm going to place this now is 1 club head's width inside of the golf ball line. So I'm going to place that right there. So I'm going to go from here, from the golf ball, I'm going to take 1 foot width. So I'm going to mark that point right there, and I'm going to place an alignment stick in the ground on the same plane as what my 7-iron would rest. So that would be my first visual station. Even if this right here is the only piece that we take from this, I think this is important, because if I come over the top, I have a chance of hitting that. And if I come too far from the inside, I have a chance of hitting that. So this is going to teach me how to keep this golf club relatively on plane versus going too far into out or too far out to in. And this might be the very first place that you want to start just hitting golf shots. Just hitting and pitching the golf ball out there like that, and just feeling what it's like to have this golf club staying on plane underneath the stick versus coming over it, working against it. This works as a really good visual station for us, okay? So that would be the first piece of it. Now from here, we have this double alignment stick that is, again, 1 club head width inside of where the golf ball is going to be placed. Now from here, I'm going to take a foot width, and I'm going to place this into the ground on the same plane that my 7-iron would sit. And I'm going to go over here to the front. I'm going to do the same thing right here. So this would be a foot width inside of where my golf club would rest. So now basically what I've done right here, I've built a runway that I have to keep this golf club here inside of, and that's going to give me a feedback station that I can use to gain a feel of what it's like to keep this golf club on plane back and through. This might need to be the very first place that we start, just by simply making practice swings. Here's another piece that we can use this for. Take a towel, put it on the ground, chip it out there. I think it's really good. I think it's really good to be able to actually strike something inside of an environment that might not be very comfortable, but it's going to be something that on video, and when we strike the golf ball, it's going to give us feedback. I'm going to know if I swung too far left, I'm going to run into this stick. If I swing too far into out, I could run into this, and I could run into that. I could run into the stick behind me, and I could also run into the stick that's over the golf ball. So this is giving me right here, this is giving me a runway of where my swing plane would be pre-impact, impact, and post-impact. This is a really, really great place for those of you that are learning how to get better at golf to start right here. So now that we're inside of this, what we can do from here is we can just start by hitting half shots 9 to 3. So I'm going to take it left arm parallel back, come down, pitch the ball, right arm parallel on the way through. It would look something like this. There would be the very first place that I would start. That golf ball was struck really solidly. As we become more comfortable with this, we can start to pick up the pace a little bit. We can lengthen it out. I can move it a little bit faster. And again, this gives me a really good visual runway for where and how the golf club is supposed to move. So I'd be in here. That golf ball was about as straight as I could hit and was incredibly solid. If I'd had a station like this when I was younger, truthfully, I think I'd be playing for a living. This would have given me a feedback station that gives me instantaneous awareness of whether I did something right or whether I did something wrong. Now again, for a lot of you, this is going to seem very daunting. This does not mean grab your driver, come in here and swing this 110 miles an hour or as fast as we can humanly move it. Your first place might just be mapping out the directional movement of the club from parallel to the ground, impact, and parallel to the ground. For those of you that are too far in to out this direction, it's probably going to feel like the golf club is coming from more outside. And for those of you that are too far out to in, it's probably going to feel like this is coming more from the inside. And here's the neat thing. We can tailor this to you. If you are too far out to in, we can change this up and make it harder for that. So if I'm too far out to in, I'm going to move this stick now in line with the golf ball. And I'm going to turn this into an under-over drill. That would be a way of changing that up. If I'm too far in to out, I'm going to keep it right here where it was. So 1 foot step. I'm going to keep this right here where it was on this plane. And I'm going to work on swinging that through there. I think this is truthfully, this is like the holy grail of stations right here for those of you that are looking to try and get the golf ball to start in a straighter direction, lose a lot of the curve, and this is a way that you can provide feedback for yourself that you're doing it correctly. So I hope this helps. Let me know if you have any questions on this. We'll see you next time. I hope you enjoyed this video here. If you haven't, please click that subscribe button. You can also click the bell right there, and that's going to notify you every time that I release a new YouTube video. Also, if you haven't, check out that last video that I did. It's right here, pinned to the screen. Thank you so much for your support. I really do appreciate you watching. If you have any questions, any comments, please leave those below, and I will make sure I get back to each and every one of you. So, thank you again. Appreciate your support. We'll see you next time.